Hey, this is Jared from Monster Truck, and you're watching Loud TV.
All right, good to go.
Yeah, definitely. It was actually one of the first places that we realized we were catching on quickly. You know, we go to a lot of places, and sometimes you see it pick up really quick, and sometimes it takes a long time. And France was one of the places that we were able to start coming and doing our headline shows almost the fastest. So it's somewhere that we've been trying to come back to a lot. No, can you? I can't. I just think it's the nature of music, really. You just have certain spots that just embrace certain types of music and certain bands, and sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to it, really. You know, we've got that area in Canada, Quebec, that's, you know, at least just the French-speaking area of Canada, and that was somewhere that loves heavy metal, punk, and it was somewhere I thought was going to be great for us. And we've been there 8 or 9 times, and we're bigger in France than we are in Quebec. And I can't explain it. Well, with that, I mean, obviously, I'm huge. Very excited about being able to do that. You know, but I think the real reason that we got to those experiences is it's kind of a snowball effect, where once you get access to that side of the rock and roll community, the kind of the heritage bands, the ones that are kind of paved the way for bands like us, the word kind of travels along quickly throughout the crew members and through the people who are all interconnected. Like, there's guitar techs that kind of go around through all of them, and we just kind of got a reputation for being a good band to have out on tour. And we make it easy on the headliners, and, you know, we stay out of the way. We keep it kind of low key. We know how to kind of handle ourselves in those situations. So, you know, it makes it easy to invite us back again. Probably someone like Metallica or AC/DC. We might not be heavy enough to tour with Metallica, but I think we would just want to do that because we're big fans. This is more of a band that's kind of a peer of ours. They're bigger than we are, but they're more in our generation of rock music, which is the Rival Sons, and that's a band that we just absolutely love, and we've toured with before in short bursts that we really got along with them really well, and it was a great kind of package for the audiences, because it was kind of like, if you liked one band, you probably liked the other band. And so it was a very symbiotic kind of tour, and made it for a lot of fun for us. I think at the end of the day, it usually reflects more what you grew up listening to than it does where you're from. We grew up in Canada, but we listened to a lot of Southern rock and a lot of British rock. So there was really no way of avoiding sounding like that, you know. A lot of bands that come out of Canada do tend to have a Canadian rock sound to it that our country is very apt at picking up. But it was just something that didn't happen with us. I didn't grow up listening to Rush and you know, the Guess Who, and albeit you know, very great bands. It just wasn't what I was into growing up. So it's just unlikely that I would write music that would be similar to that. Yeah, it was a bit of an adventure. We kind of approached it similar to the way we approached Furiosity. We tried to expand on a few things. We tried to spend a little more time on certain sounds and a little bit more time on production. But really, in the end, we ended up having to go back and do some extra studio time, just based on the fact that we weren't as happy with it as we wanted to be when we got to the deadline. And we were willing to just do another session, delay the record, and make sure that we got it to where it needed to be, which was something that we've actually had to deal with before in the past. And I did think it's a reflection of the pressure that we put on ourselves. You know, people are always asking about the pressure of the record label or fans or whatever, which is always there and present, but it's always a lot more we always feel a lot more on ourselves, and that's just a reflection of that, of us not being happy with where we're at and continuing to forge ahead with additional work and songwriting. Yeah, the deal with Mascot is just really that they do feel like music fans, and they've got their blues label where they really concentrate on the blues music, and we've always just felt kind of embraced by their label since we got this record kind of licensed to them. So it's been fun for us, and I feel like it's been fun for them. And of course, us getting all the great tours that we've gotten and everything like that has made it really easy for them to kind of feel like the work that they're doing is paying off, which is always a good feeling as a label, as opposed to the opposite happening where you put all this effort into a band and nothing happens, and you feel like it's just like anything else. Everyone's working so hard and everyone likes to see it succeed. So it's been a lot of fun for both parties. We've had busier years, but not as fruitful. So we've put more work in the past and had less happen than this year. So this year is probably the busiest as far as getting to new fan bases and exposing the band to as many people as possible, and that's a nice feeling. We didn't have to work as hard to achieve more. So as far as years go, it's been the Monster Truck has been the most exposed in the world. 2016. Yeah, we're always working. I think every time we go to approach a new album, we start working on it sooner than the last time because we get into these situations where we keep having to do work over again. So we started kind of like working on new songs on this tour, making a rehearsal rig in the dressing room so that we can start working on new material and getting it all together ahead of time so we can kind of flesh out what's working and what isn't and get right to business when we have the time off to really work on the record. We've got lots of stuff cooking, but nothing I can really talk about yet. Lots of ideas. The main thing on the plate right now is just getting a lot of new songs together and ready for another record and continue touring this album cycle. We're going to try and kind of do it at the same time because it's just, there's so many bands and so much happening and such tight timelines, and I feel like we're really making a lot of headway right now, so to kind of let off the gas at it all would be kind of a mistake, I think, and I think everybody knows that. Management, labels, agents, they're all pushing us to keep touring and keep writing, and we're just trying to do it all at the same time.